Week 26 found us on the move again as we hopped a ship and went north to Savona. There we discovered an ancient fort that held quite a few mysteries. There we met Belko, a Bosnian who had served with our soldiers in Afghanistan and then immigrated to Italy. As a teacher of ceramics, I'm always interested in what people do with coiled pots. This is the other Sistine Chapel, and it can't be confused with the first. We spent some time in the original site of the Olympics, called Olympia. It was an incredible sight to walk through the ruins of what was probably a fascinating place. The island of Mykonos offered a beauty of its own that was enjoyed by both Annie and I. And I'm always fascinated by what local artists use to do their creations. Here's just a few examples from Mykonos. In the town of Izmir, we again saw more Roman ruins. As we travel a lot throughout Europe, I'm just amazed how many places the Roman Empire extended to. This cemetery had both Muslim, Jewish, and Christians buried together. If you ever see these, that's a sign of a Turkish bath. We went up to the top of the city to see Alexander the Great's fortress. Up there, we also saw local people creating their crafts as this woman was doing. We went to a small blue mosque in the city. It was totally covered by tiles, intricate tiles. Now they use technology. They have times displayed for prayer, and they call people from a loudspeaker in the main room instead of climbing to the top of the minaret. This was during their noon prayer, and they did the rituals of washing their feet, washing their hands, getting ready for prayer. In Istanbul, I was fascinated by all the boat traffic and ships that we're there where east meets west. Here's the new mosque, only about 400 years old. Annie and I explored the basilica cisterns that we'd read about in Dan Brown's book, Inferno. A couple of the columns have heads of Medusa, upside down and sideways, and no one knows for sure why that is.
We are currently in Istanbul, and behind me is the Hagia Sophia, which is basically across from the Blue Mosque. And it's kind of a museum and an old mosque, so we're going to explore it too. It's a little rainy and cold here. Hopefully the weather's better where you're at.
I also should have said that it was a church, and it still has images of Christianity in it to this day. Saw a bunch of Coptic priests and noticed they were standing around this image of the stone looking like an image of a priest. This is the Blue Mosque. Pope Francis was there yesterday, and we're going to be there today. While in Istanbul, it was cold, damp, and rainy, but it was interesting to see how the people lived their lives. It was a fascinating place to visit.